Let me ask you a question that could change everything. How many dreams have you buried simply because you felt too tired, too unmotivated, or too lazy to act? How many moments have you let slip through your fingers because the idea of starting felt heavier than the fear of failure itself? We don't talk about it enough, not because it's rare, but because it's everywhere. Laziness is not about being weak. It's about being stuck. Stuck in a loop where comfort whispers in your ear, just rest a little longer. But here's the raw truth. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you delay your greatness. You see, the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face isn't out there. It's within. It's that voice that says, "I'll start tomorrow." That same voice convinces you that your best ideas can wait, that your big goals aren't urgent, that there's always more time. But you and I both know the reality. The graveyard is full of dreams that never got started. It's full of people who had passion, talent, and potential, but they never broke through their comfort zones. And if you don't confront it now, laziness won't just steal your time. It will rob you of the life you were born to live. Let me tell you about someone I worked with a few years ago. Let's call him Jake. Jake was stuck in a job he hated. He'd wake up exhausted, hit the snooze button 5 times, scroll through his phone for an hour, skip breakfast, and then rush off to work. Every evening, he'd come home drained, binge-watch Netflix, eat takeout, and fall asleep with a stomach full of food, but a heart full of regret. Every day was the same. When I finally asked him why he hadn't taken any steps toward his goals, he simply said, "I'm just lazy, man." But I saw something different. I didn't see laziness. I saw a man who had forgotten his power. I told Jake something that might speak to you right now. Laziness is not the absence of action. It's the absence of clarity, urgency, and ownership. It's not that he didn't want to do more. It's that he didn't believe it mattered. He didn't have a mission that pulled him out of bed in the morning. He didn't have a reason big enough to push through the fog. When we started working together, I didn't tell him to work harder. I helped him change his story. The story of being someone who waits, delays, and settles became the story of a man who was done playing small. That's the first step to killing laziness. You must change your identity. You must stop saying, "I'm lazy," and start saying, "I'm powerful, and I'm just waking up." Laziness is learned behavior. It's a comfort trap you fall into when you stop believing that today matters. And make no mistake, comfort is the real enemy. It's seductive. It tells you that you're fine, that you don't need to push, that you deserve a break. But every time you listen, you strengthen the voice that keeps you small. And here's what they won't tell you. You're not lazy, you're untrained. You've trained your brain to seek instant gratification over long-term growth. But the same way you trained laziness into your life, you can train discipline, energy, and focus into your bones. You need a mission. You need something that lights you up. You need a reason that's bigger than your excuses. Think about this. When a person has a deep, soul-level reason to wake up, when they're building something that matters, laziness disappears. That's what happened to Jake. We dug deep into his values and found his fire. His real desire wasn't just to escape the job. It was to inspire others through fitness, to build a brand, to make an impact. Once he found that fire, his habits changed. He stopped waiting for motivation and started acting from mission. Because when your why is strong enough, your laziness dies a natural death. But inspiration alone isn't enough. You need systems. You need to take consistent action until it becomes automatic. That's how we retrain the mind. That's how we build a new identity. Start by winning the first 10 minutes of your day. Why? Because the first 10 minutes set the tone for the next 10 hours. When you start your day with distractions, checking your phone, watching videos, or reacting to other people's lives, you put yourself in a passive state. But when you begin with intention, water, movement, gratitude, power questions, you send a signal to your brain. I'm in charge. This day belongs to me. Next, Stack micro wins too. One of the biggest killers of motivation is overwhelm. You look at your goals and think, it's too much. And you shut down. So break it down. Don't focus on the mountain. Focus on the next step. Do 5 push-ups. Write 1 paragraph. Read for 10 minutes. Progress builds momentum. Momentum builds belief. And belief shatters laziness. Third, make it painful to do nothing. I mean it. Your brain responds to incentives. If you want to stop delaying, create a cost for inaction. Tell a friend your goal and set a punishment if you miss it. Donate money to a cause you hate if you don't follow through. At the same time, reward action. Celebrate the wins. Train your brain to associate progress with pleasure. This isn't about self-hate. It's about behavioral training. It's how you rewire your patterns and reclaim control. You've got to stop waiting for energy and start creating it. Action creates energy. Discipline creates freedom. But none of that happens until you get honest with yourself. Are you living each day as a rehearsal for your regrets, or as a declaration of your destiny? Because you're not lazy, you're a sleeping giant. And the only thing standing between who you are and who you want to become is the decision to act. I don't care how many times you've quit. I don't care how deep the rut is. What I care about is whether you're willing to draw the line in the sand and say, no more. I'm done waiting. I'm done drifting. I'm done living beneath my potential. Your time is now. And I don't mean tomorrow. I don't mean Monday. I mean now. Because nothing changes until you do. And once you change, once you say, I own this life, you'll never go back to laziness again.
Now that you've drawn that line in the sand, it's time to build a life that reflects the decision you just made. The next step is not about doing more, it's about becoming more. Because if you want to destroy laziness permanently, you can't just rely on willpower. But identity is powerful. Identity is permanent until you decide to upgrade it. So if you want lasting change in 2025, you got to shift from someone who tries into someone who is. You don't just try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't hope to be consistent. You are consistent. This is the shift that turns temporary motivation into lifelong momentum. Let me share this with you. Success doesn't come from massive overnight action. It comes from the daily, unsexy, repetitive grind that compounds over time. Everyone wants the rewards. Few want the repetition. But repetition is the key to mastery. You have to fall in love with doing the small things right. Every single day. That means waking up even when it's hard. That means journaling your goals, even when your brain says it's pointless. That means showing up for yourself, even when no one's watching. Because greatness is built when no one's clapping. It's built when the world is silent and you're still moving forward. People ask me all the time, Tony, how do I stay consistent? And I tell them stop focusing on motivation. Start focusing on your standards. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. What are your systems right now? Do you have a morning ritual that primes you? Do you have an evening shutdown routine that helps you reflect and reset? Do you have accountability in place? Or are you winging it, hoping for discipline to magically appear? Let me tell you something, successful people don't rely on hope. They build environments that force them to succeed. Look around you. Is your environment built for progress or procrastination? What are you feeding your mind every day? Are you watching mindless videos and consuming content that numbs you? Or are you reading, learning, stretching, and engaging with ideas that call you to rise? If you want to become unstoppable, you must control what's around you. Control your inputs. Control your energy. The world will try to distract you, discourage you, and dilute your vision. But if your environment is strong, you won't bend.
Let me tell you the story of Tanya. She was a single mom working 2 jobs, trying to build a business on the side. Everyone told her it was impossible, that she didn't have time, didn't have the money, didn't have the energy. But she didn't listen. You know why? Because she changed her environment. She woke up an hour earlier, not because it was easy, but because her mission was bigger than her excuses. She posted affirmations on her bathroom mirror. She set alarms with motivational quotes. She left sticky notes all over her home reminding her of her purpose. And you know what happened? Her habits became automatic. Her energy shifted. Her life transformed. Not because she had more time, but because she took ownership of her identity. Ownership is everything. Until you take full responsibility for your life, you will always find someone or something else to blame. But the moment you stop pointing fingers and start pointing inward, you take back your power. Say it with me right now. I am responsible. I am capable. I am ready. You've got to say it like you believe it, because your words shape your identity. The stories you repeat become the reality you live. Stop saying, I'm tired, and start saying, I'm in training. Stop saying, I don't feel like it, and start saying, I do it anyway. Champions are not defined by how they feel. They are defined by what they do despite how they feel. That's what makes 2025 your breakout year. Not because it's a new calendar, but because you are choosing to become someone new. You're choosing to leave behind the old version of you that made excuses, that gave up halfway, that believed they weren't enough. That version is dead. Today, we bury that identity. And in its place, we birth a warrior, someone who's unstoppable, undeniable, and relentless. You are not here to live an average life. You are not here to settle. You are here to break records, destroy limits, and make history. But don't just take my word for it. Look at history. Every legend, every high performer, every world changer, they all had moments where laziness tried to take over. But they built systems. They built discipline. They built identity. Michael Jordan wasn't the best because he felt motivated every day. He was the best because he trained with obsession. Kobe Bryant didn't become iconic because he had natural talent alone. It was the 4 a.m. workouts, the insane repetition, the refusal to take a day off. If they can build that identity, why not you? And here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to wait years to feel the shift. You can feel it today. The moment you complete that workout, the moment you shut off the distractions, the moment you make your bed, take the cold shower, hit publish on your content, turn down the junk food, open the book. Each moment becomes a vote for your new identity. This is how confidence is built. Not by pretending you're strong, but by proving to yourself that you are. Action builds self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of unstoppable drive.
This next season of your life demands a new level of you. Not a perfect you. Not a fearless you, but a committed you. A version of you that refuses to be lazy. Not because laziness is wrong, but because laziness is death to your vision. That's why we move. That's why we act. That's why we keep going even when we're tired. Because we remember why we started. You don't break laziness with shame, you break it with action. You break it by choosing to move again and again until it becomes who you are. Remember, you are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your current results. You are the creator of your next chapter. And in this chapter, laziness dies and leadership begins. Let me make one thing absolutely clear. Laziness isn't a disease. It's not a permanent label. It's a symptom of disconnection. When you're not connected to your purpose, when your vision is foggy, when your energy is scattered, that's when laziness creeps in. It's not that you don't want to move, it's that you've forgotten why it matters. But today, you're not just reconnecting with your goals. You're reconnecting with your fire. And that fire, once lit, doesn't go out unless you let it. So let me ask you right now, what's on the line if you don't act? What happens if you let laziness win again? What will your life look like 1 year from now if you continue hitting snooze on your dreams? Think about the relationships you won't build, the business you won't start, the body you won't transform, the life you won't live all because you chose temporary comfort over lasting change. That's not just a missed opportunity. That's a tragedy. But here's the truth that flips the script. You can change the trajectory of your life in one decision. One powerful decision, backed by relentless commitment, can alter your destiny. Don't underestimate the compound power of showing up every day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because the real transformation doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when it's inconvenient. It happens when the old you wants to quit, and the new you says, not today. You want to know what separates the top one from the rest? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's urgency. The most successful people on the planet treat their goals like life or death. They don't wait until Monday. They don't need January 1st. Every day is day one. Every moment is a fresh start. That's the kind of hunger you need to activate, the kind that says, I'm done waiting. I'm done hoping. I'm building my legacy now.
Now listen to me. The enemy of progress is comfort. You can't grow and stay comfortable at the same time. It's one or the other. So if your life feels stuck right now, if you feel like you're not moving, it's not because you're broken. It's not because you've settled into comfort. Comfort is the slow death of dreams. And if you want to rise in 2025, you've got to wage war on comfort. That means embracing discomfort, seeking it out, running toward the challenge, not away from it. Let me give you a powerful tool, the 5-minute rule. Whenever you don't feel like doing something important, whether it's going to the gym, starting that video, studying, writing, reading, tell yourself you'll do it for just 5 minutes. Why? Because motion creates emotion. Once you begin, your brain starts to release momentum chemicals, dopamine, adrenaline, focus hormones. That's how you break the cycle. Action first. Motivation follows. And while we're at it, let's talk about your circle. Because if you're around people who normalize laziness, you're going to stay stuck. Energy is contagious. If you're around complainers, you'll become one. But if you surround yourself with doers, action takers, high performers, your standard will rise without effort. That's why this year, 2025, you've got to audit your circle. Choose people who challenge you, not comfort you. People who push you, not pacify you. People who live at a level you aspire to and who force you to step up. Now I want to be real with you. This journey won't be perfect. You will have days where you fall. You will mess up. You'll backslide. But listen to me. Falling is not failure. Quitting is. Everyone falls. The winners are the ones who get back up faster, stronger, wiser. Progress is messy. But as long as you refuse to stay down, you're still in the game. So, don't chase perfection, chase consistency. Consistency builds character. And character builds empires. So here's the challenge I leave you with for the next 30 days. I want you to go to war with laziness. Not just a battle, a full-blown war. That means no more waiting for the right mood. No more scrolling for hours. No more saying, I'll do it later. If it matters, you do it now. You move now. You take the cold shower now. You record the content now. You wake up early now. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. And let me speak to the dreamer inside you for a moment, the one who knows they were born for something more. I know you feel it. I know you've had visions of a better life, of making an impact, of living free, strong, and proud. That's not a fantasy. That's your spirit speaking. That's your higher self calling. And it's time to answer that call. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. You're not just breaking up with laziness, you're breaking into greatness. You're becoming the kind of person who inspires others just by showing up. You're setting an example for your friends, your family, your future kids. This is bigger than you. You staying lazy doesn't just hurt you, it hurts everyone you're meant to impact. But your greatness, that creates ripple effects for generations. That's legacy. That's what we're playing for now. So here's what I want you to do before this video ends. Pause it and make a declaration. Write it in the comments. Say it out loud. Message it to a friend. I am done with laziness. I choose action. I choose to rise. And then do something today, right now, that aligns with that declaration. Even if it's small. Especially if it's small. Because small steps today lead to massive momentum tomorrow. Now, if this message hit home for you, if you felt something ignite inside, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Like this video. Comment "I'm rising in 2025." Subscribe to this channel, because we're building a movement of people who are done living average lives. This is more than motivation. This is your new standard. And trust me, this isn't the last time you'll hear from me, because I'm showing up to make sure you keep showing up. The time for excuses is over. The time for breakthrough is now. This is your year. This is your time. Laziness is dead and a new you is rising from the ashes. So, go, take action. Be relentless, and I'll see you at the top.